Then they should do George of the Jungle reboot and then have them fight each other in a versus film, and then they'll team up in the end.
No. Don't encourage that. Don't besmirch Brendan Fraser's George of the Jungle.
Hello guys, I'm Ryan Wright.
I'm Jerry.
So Jerry and I have just watched the trailer. I saw it again for The Legend of Tarzan. I didn't have a chance to review the trailer, so I brought Jer Bear here with me to talk about it. I'm starting with something negative. That shot where Sam Jackson whips out the guns, like...
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what?
It looks like Abe Lincoln Vampire.
It's distracting. Yeah. It's
like one of those weird tableau shots that you could tell is on a green screen, but it's like stylized.
It's distracting because, like, if it was another actor, I probably wouldn't have been so distracted. Sorry, Samuel L. Jackson, you've kind of just developed that image. Regardless, it still looks like it's out of a different film at that point.
Well, yeah, because so much of this trailer looks like, you know, kind of like the more serious version of one of those, like, we've taken a sort of story and we've made it more real.
Yeah.
Like, it has that sort of, like, it's like the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes version of that.
I feel like they did like Disney's Tarzan, and this is their real life. Like, well, I heard it might be closer to the book, actually.
Half the trailer looks like this, you know, serious, like, man versus the elements versus man type movie. With that Sam Jackson shot, it almost makes him look like the mustache twirling villain.
Yeah.
You know, like that climactic fight with the villain who's trying to steal all this money from the train. So yeah, it does feel like it's trying to be both weighty, but also like an action movie.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
I don't want to be cynical. You can almost feel the elements of this that have been pushed around by, like, you know, market testing.
Yeah, like, this is a trailer, so they're gonna show you, like, here's a bunch of sweeping spectacle, which most of it looks fantastic.
Hey, man, yeah, it's beautiful.
Every once in a while, there was a shot where I'm like, that looks pretty like the one where he's swinging around, and...
That's a hard effect. This is what happened, like, with Spider-Man swinging around, not all the time, but, like... Whenever they do a CG swing, like, the body kind of stretches a bit too much, like...
However...
it doesn't look quite natural.
It looks more weird because Spider-Man's at least in a costume.
Yeah.
It looks more weird because it's just a dude shirtless.
Yeah.
You know? I know he doesn't have shoes on and shit. Yeah, I get it. Someone's gonna argue.
No shirt, no shoes, no shirt.
No underwear.
Oh.
I'm kidding. He wears Hanes.
You're trying to get product placement for me.
Yeah.
Needs some underwear. Daddy needs some underwear. The locations and stuff and all the effects look gorgeous. I'm curious now because of, you know, King Kong and all that stuff, like what they...
There did seem some King Kong. Like, I was like, this is straight out of Peter Jackson's King Kong right now.
Yeah. And there's another King Kong movie, so I'm sure they're trying to write in on that. I'm wondering... You know, did they mocap some of these creatures and these
gorillas? It looks like it.
Did they use some animatronics? Because there are a lot of different ways to approach these things, and I'm curious as to how they would have done that. Because a lot of times the animal effects look pretty good. I'm just curious as to, you know, what level of budget they had to really make these effects incredible. Mm-hmm. You know, because this seems like it might be a little bit of a hard sell because... You know, Tarzan is older school. It's not exactly the name everyone's gonna go like, fuck yeah, Tarzan! I'm curious as to just how many of the toys they had access to.
What concerns me a little bit is that there's so much spectacle, and I'm like, I'm not familiar with the original Tarzan story. Yeah. However, it's The Legend of Tarzan, and I don't think The Legend of Tarzan was kept around this story for so long because of, like, sweeping spectacle. I feel like there was a story there that I really hope they put a lot of focus on instead of trying to be a visually cool movie.
See, the thing is, like, a visually luscious movie, like a movie that's just chock full of great shots can be that Hollywood, like, oh, it just kind of looks nice.
Yeah.
But there's not much here. But it can also really enhance something that has weight in it.
True.
You know?
And David Yates proved that with the Harry Potter films, that he could...
Edgar Rice Burroughs, there you go. That's who created Tarzan.
Thanks, I was really looking forward to that information.
Well, no, but that's like, at the time this came to be and was written, like, these kinds of stories were different, you know? That's the time where you could still have reasonably affluent, like, very Western guys, like, going on safari or, like, taking a trip to the rainforest to kill a wild boar for sport, you know? Like, when you'd have, like, a study with tusk doorways and like a fireplace and a globe and shit. It's of a different time, and those stories all have a very specific aesthetic, and I'm curious as to how much of that we'll get with this, because that's a time and place I would be interested in going if somebody
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. People have said that it's supposed to be closer to the books. If that's what like the time period it was written in, I hope that they actually honor like whatever it was that the book that time it was,
that early
and the style
1900s, like
too.
that adventure.
That's
like
what I
you
mean.
read it in an adventure magazine.
I want to feel the story. I'm not really. I don't really care so much about let's get some of the best visuals ever. I really care more about like I want the Tarzan story for sure.
I want them to do the story and not do like the dark, gritty version of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the story and tell it like it would have been in one of those old magazines.
Exactly. I don't want it to try to be something else. So let's modernize it in some way.
Let's make this really pertinent to like the kids who are 19.
I like the cast in it too. I like the actors. I don't know if I like the characters. I just saw the trailer.
Well, yeah, it's like
but I like the actors.
Christoph Waltz seems like the perfect casting choice for the kind of story Tarzan actually is.
Yeah.
Like, he would be the guy with all the money funding the trip and, like, you know, coming along for the prestige of it. And I hope, you know, he gets to do something like that because I think he'd be perfect at it.
And I hope that if he does become, like, the villain of the story, that he's someone that we can sort of understand. That he's not like, hey, I'm playing a villain, you know? Like twirling his mustache and shit.
The kind of guy who would become a villain because he's an opportunist and he is taking the best investment, you know?
Yeah, he's just doing what he does. He's not playing evil.
Yeah,
he doesn't view himself like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I like those villains.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, it's of that... It's a little more of that time, too.
Yeah, I want to see Tarzan fuck up some animals. Remember the cartoon when he fought that, like, cheetah or some shit?
Oh,
Leopard?
did he? Okay.
In the beginning, and they presented it to the leader of the tribe, and then he was like, whatever, and then Tarzan was like, man, fuck this shit, and he smoked a joint with the one that Rosie O'Donnell played.
Is this from
Remember?
the animated film?
Yeah, the Disney one.
I don't recall any of that.
Yeah.
I
And then the
don't know
elephant
if
was
I ever
like,
actually saw
Is
that.
this water sanitary? It looks questionable to me. You don't remember that scene?
I think I didn't see Tarzan. I think I saw the trailer. Didn't Tarzan have the Phil Collins song?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see Tarzan.
The cartoon was confusing because Tarzan meets Jane, and then he's like, I'm Tarzan. And I'm like, how the fuck did you learn to say Tarzan?
Well, all the animals were speaking English.
Yeah, no, but that's just for us.
Unless, you know, other explorers have been through, you know, I don't know.
Nah, yeah, that movie, that was the first time he ever saw a human. So why are we talking about this?
I mean, I like that last shot. I like that moment of dialogue at the very end. I mean, you know, Sam Jackson getting to do his thing.
Yeah, and Alexander Skarsgård getting to do his Eric thing.
Yeah. You know.
Oh, come on. Cannot see past the vampire thing.
See, I got lucky because I only managed to see the first season of True Blood and like a couple episodes of the second season. So
well, you missed all the gay sex he had and the straight sex too. Well,
he
has a wonderful ass and he was so sexy and charming.
I
Honestly, I understood why Sookie was sometimes going a little bit after after Eric, because you know it's like Bill's like more comes from like the Civil War era. Well, Eric's been around for like ever and.
Yeah.
You know, he has the perfect American accent. He's just so sexy.
And I would imagine that having seen True Blood, you're probably even more familiar with not only like his face and his, you know, general the way he does expressions, but now you also know his body, so you have that much more to divorce yourself from.
Tarzan ass shot.
We will.
Tarzan ass shot.
That shot will decide what kind of movie this is.
Yeah. What does he need a loincloth for? Just to fucking let him go naked.
Well, to protect things from the elements.
The one little cloth he has.
Well, I mean, you know,
he doesn't even wear underwear under that cloth.
At least, you know, like from wind.
Do you think the other apes would point and laugh at his penis?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Because he probably had a small penis compared to them.
Well, but here's the thing: is didn't they come across him when he was when he was a lad?
Yeah.
So maybe maybe they laughed initially, but then as he grew, like, you know, his penis continued to grow with him.
You'll be in my heart.
So maybe they got used to it by now, and you know, they respect him.
You'll be no. It wasn't like, oh, you're freaky. No, the mom took the baby Tarzan in right away. Did you see the cartoon?
No.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
That's what we learned in today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe to The Real Rejects. Reasons to Jerry on this channel and Dank Ass Stubs, podcast hosted by Jerry. I feel like Tarzan was bullied.
By the apes?
Yeah, I feel like he was just bullied. Like he was the kid people bullied.
Why?
I mean, come on, fucking look at him.
So he grew up and overcompensated by like getting buff and super tough.
Yeah, I'm like really working on himself in personal development. He listened to a lot of self-motivational
I mean,
tapes.
kind of. I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but sure.